Hello everyone, this is going to be a video response to the Witch on the Rocks, and she asked about how we view the god and the goddess. I have a kind of a complicated view, so bear with me on this. First of all, I follow the Native American, I guess you would call it a trinity, and that is the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit is the one, there's only one, and it's the Almighty, the source, the almighty source of energy from which all energy has come from. And in the big web of life, everything is connected. And everything is connected by the Great Spirit. So it's kind of like the glue that holds everything together. This can also be likened to, it's described by Spider Mother, and Spider Mother weaves the web of life, and she's kind of the same as Earth Mother, but not really. That's another video. But anyway, and then that one Great Spirit, it has two parts. It has male and it has female. And the male is generally called the Sky Father, or the Sun Father. The female is the Earth Mother. And these, I don't see them personally as specifically just the earth and just the sun or the sky. I just see them as our representation of the male and the female. Because the male, the sun, the sky, where the rain comes from, fertilizes the female, which is the earth, and that is what creates life. So that's how I see that. As other gods and goddesses go, for example, I follow the Welsh triple goddess. I see that as, I see all goddesses are the same goddess, and all gods are the same god, and they are both part of the one source. And the reason we've broken them down in each different culture over time into different goddesses and different gods is because we had to put a name to each certain characteristic. Just like I myself, when I'm describing myself, I might say, well, I'm creative, I'm, I don't know, I'm creative, I'm outgoing, I'm extroverted, I'm impatient, I'm spontaneous, I'm a spaz, things like that. Well, that's all me. That's how you would describe me. And my parents named me. So I think I kind of see that in the same way. Basically, the groupings of different forms of energy we put a name to in order for us to better be able to call on that energy and bring that certain type of energy into our life and into our ritual and spell work. Because the entire point of ritual and spell work is to focus your energy onto your goal, using different tools of visualization and raising energy and things like that in order to send that intent out into the universe. So when we call on, say, Aphrodite, we're calling on the energy of and we're focusing on the energy of motherhood, of fertility, of love and lust and things like that. We're not actually calling on an actual sentient, tangible being. We're just using that as a visualization tool, I guess you could call it, to help us focus our intent on the subject at hand. So that's how I view that. And I think the reason for the myths and things like that, I think that as human beings, it's a lot easier for us to visualize something when we have a story for it. And I also think we may have come up with myths and things like that to show why certain energies work together and why certain energies work against each other. For example, let me think. For example, let's take a Greek god and a goddess, Artemis and Apollo. Artemis and Apollo work, you could call on them in the same ritual and they would work together just fine because they like each other. Well, the reason we have them in the myths working together is so that we can know that you can call on both of those at the same time and they'll mesh well and still work with what you're trying to do. And the same goes for stories of deities that do not get along. For example, Arianrhod and Math from the Welsh pantheon. You would not want to call on them at the same time because they absolutely hated each other. And I don't think that they were actual sentient beings and this actually happened. I think that was us trying to put an explanation behind the fact that those energies are not going to mesh together very well. And as human beings, we have to have an explanation for everything. We can't just let something go and say, well, that's how it is because that's just how it is. We need to have a reason for it. And that's why we've come up with these different myths and these different names and things like that to show why everything is the way that it is. And the different cultures have come up with different gods and goddesses, obviously, because they view it in a different way. The Greeks are going to view something in an entirely different way than the Egyptians are. And they're going to view it entirely different than the Norse are because they're on a different area of the planet. And they have a different culture. Ow! My dog is biting my hand. Anyway, so that's how I view the god and the goddess. And we'll see you next time.